Hey guys, welcome back for part two of our Buffy review. So we're going to talk about some of our favourite scenes, and I'm just going to let Cody take it away with one of his favourite scenes from the show.
My favorite scenes actually have to be from Graduation Day Part Two, where they were right from the moment when Buffy says now, and then all the students like start stripping off their gowns and getting their weapons ready. That for me is just so epic right there, and the music playing over it just only adds to it. And there's just so many great things going on during that like little battle and stuff, and Harmony getting bitten by a vampire and bastards killed Larry. I like Larry. Um, and then Cordelia actually staked a vampire, which is pretty cool for the first time. And then probably the best part though was Wesley going out and falling on its ass within the first 2 seconds of the fight. That was one of my favorites right there. So, Scott.
I think one of my favourite scenes is one of the funniest scenes for me. It's in Tabula Rasa, which I was kind of talking about earlier. And it's the scene where they kind of wake up and they're trying to figure out who they are and what they're doing at the magic box. And it's just a really funny scene to see them trying to like piece everything together. And like Spike thinks that he's Giles' son, and he reads like the name in his jacket, and it says to Randy. And it's just, I think it's one of the funniest scenes in the show, probably.
Yeah, he has that great line. He's just like, "Why don't you just call me Holly for a shag, Giles?" Yeah. Nick, you wanna?
Mine is probably, again, for my favourite character, Spike, in Season 4, Episode 7, The Initiative, Vampire Impotency. Just where Spike's been down in the Initiative. He got caught by, obviously, the Initiative, and they took him down. And he goes up to Buffy and Willow's dorm room, and he tries to bite Willow, because Buffy's not there, so he thinks he can get an easy target. And he, just can't do it. He gets his pain in his head, and he finds out he's actually had a chip put in, so he cannot attack humans. And if he does, he gets his severe pain. And it's just so funny when Willow's lying back on the bed and Spike's holding his head, and he goes, "I'm not normally like this," and she goes, "Oh, maybe give it another go." I just think that's one classic Spike scene out of many.
Yeah, I'll talk about one of my favourite scenes now. It's from The Body, obviously one of the most heartbreaking episodes of not only Buffy but television in general. If it doesn't make you cry, it's gonna you've got a heart stone. But the best scene, the best scene from it is Anya, and basically she doesn't understand death, and I think it's Anya's, not Anya, sorry, Willow's apartment, and she's going off and saying, "Are we gonna, are we gonna see the body? Are we gonna get to touch it?" And then she kind of goes off on this thing where she says, how she was drinking fruit punch, and Joyce will never be able to have fruit punch again, and she'll never eat eggs or yawn or brush her hair. And it's a really touching moment, and it really, I'm not lying here, even it does make me cry like a little baby, and you just find yourself shivering afterwards. It's because it's so. You think it's like this thing that twists on its head. You think it's Anya being Anya, like her kind of bluntness, and she doesn't really understand people. But then it's Anya. It turns out it's kind of Anya just being human, but it's her not being able to deal with these human emotions, and she wants to, comfort her friends, but she just doesn't know how, because, she was a vegetarian for thousands of years, and now she's been human for what, like two, and she just doesn't know how to cope with these emotions, and doesn't know what to do with it, and she just kind of not breaks down, but it's just this. She just has this moment, and it's just really, really heartbreaking. So that's one of my favorite scenes from the show. Just it's one of those things that just really stands out in the episode in particular, and just go back to that and you're like, yeah, that was a moment.
One of the other things that Buffy, like in general, the writers were so great at. It could in both involve comedy and depressing scenes, which gives it mix the show up nicely.
Yeah, they were able to go from jumping from comedy to sadness a lot, like in The Gift. at the end when it says on her grave, she saved the world a lot.
Yeah, that's a nice comedy, like part of
Yeah.
they mixed it perfectly as well.
Does
Yeah.
anyone, sorry, does anyone,
There's one more scene I just wanted to mention,
Yeah,
which
no,
I just
that's all right.
remember, was from the end of season 6. I think it's from Seeing Red, which is one of I think the darkest scenes in the show is when Spike tries to force himself onto Buffy, and he almost attempts to rape her. And I think even with all the monsters and demons and stuff on the show, that's one of the most shocking things I think that happened.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
It's Spike. And we all love Spike.
Spike as well, because Spike can be one of the funniest characters, and then he sort of goes and does that, and it kind of it's hard to watch.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those, and because it's great because well, not great. It's horrible. It's awesome. So, it's a good scene because Spike is a vampire, so he's got strength as well. So Buffy can't fend him off.
No.
I mean, and I can't remember exactly, but I think she's kind of caught off guard by it. And so she's trying to. And it's just one of these moments where you're like, Spike, what's going on? This obsession with Buffy has gone too far.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a turning point for him as well, though, isn't it? He sort of changes his...
Yeah, I think it was after that he realises something's got to be done.
Yeah, I don't want to be a vampire rapist.
Yeah,
No, yeah, definitely, because it was he was trying to get with her for so long, and now he just thought he'd have to resort to that to finally.
Yeah, and obviously because they've been, doing it quite a lot, and then she pushes him away and says, "Fine, no, this has got to stop for realsies this time." And then that happens, and it's just like, Spike, what are you doing? I've got another scene that I'd like to talk about, if you guys don't mind.
No, sure.
No, go on.
It's from season 2, episode Passion, which is a fantastic episode, one of season 2's best. And it's basically it's after Angelus has killed Jenny Calendar, and Buffy Giles comes home and he sees a flower on the floor and he goes upstairs like this trail of petals, and he thinks Jenny's done some special for him, he's got some wine or champagne or something, and he goes upstairs to where this trail of flowers finds Jenny dead in his bed. It is one of the most heartbreaking scenes on the show, and I know I probably say this a lot, but it really is. And that and Anya's thing in the body had me in crying, and it's so, because you finally understand Angelus. You've been hearing all these things like he's a sick, twisted bastard, and he likes to make people suffer from when he kills Willow's fish. But you're kind of not really seeing the full extent of it, and I think this is really the full extent of Angelus. And it's horrible and it's heartbreaking because Giles comes home and he's like, oh, yeah, oh, look at this, Jenny's made this thing is for me, isn't it sweet? And he has this look on his face like, oh, God, isn't she the best, And then he goes upstairs and then you see his face and you see her, and it's overwhelming with this kind of it's horrible, but it's brilliant.
And that kind of between after the rest of the show where Angelus he ever came back to Sunnydale, it kind of that always put a wall kind of between him and Giles.
Yeah, they set up Giles' relationship with Angel in the beginning of season 3, definitely, and how Giles really didn't trust him. And back to that scene, sorry. I just want to mention that the way when Giles walks in and picks up that flower, the way he kind of smiles, he kind of looks at the flower and smiles and thinks, oh wow, she's gone to all this effort. That just makes it even more the worse, because you've seen her die, and you know that this isn't going to be some special thing from Jenny. It's really horrible.
Set up perfectly as well for how it was.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for listening to our 2-part review. If you stuck around for both parts, just like to thank Nick, Scott, and Cody for joining me. And so if you just want to say bye, guys, that's been it.
All right, see ya.
Right, bye.